Let's talk about some of the reasons that your products on Zazzle aren't selling. There are a number of reasons that your products aren't selling on Zazzle, and it's really hard to pinpoint what they are without actually seeing your shop. But here are some of the most common reasons that I've come to find that products don't sell on Zazzle. Number one is no keywords. If you haven't put in your keywords in the titles and tags and the description, you are missing out on actually being found in the marketplace. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You can have the best design in the whole entire world. If you haven't put in any keywords for people to be able to find you, your product is never going to sell because it's never going to get seen. So that is absolutely crucial, is filling out your metadata properly, which is the title, the description, the tags, and putting in those keywords so that your products can actually get found in the marketplace. Number two is using the wrong keywords. So if you've used keywords that are too obscure, that people aren't going to be typing in, it may be that your products are also never going to get found, or if they're too obscure but still will eventually have someone typing them in, it might just take a really long time. You definitely want to be using some keywords that are being searched more frequently. And if you need help with that, I have a video on keywords, so I'll put that up here. I also have a list of 50 popular tags on Zazzle, and I will link that in the description below. Number three is your design isn't very good. So this could be a variety of things. If your design isn't very good, then it's probably not going to sell no matter how good your keywords are. But that is something that we can improve on. So just keep practicing if that's the case. If you think that it's your design quality, just keep practicing and you will get better. And I recommend grabbing a subscription to Skillshare, which I'll link in the description below as well, because they have tons of really great tutorials on how to do different design styles and things like that. So there's a lot of helpful videos on there. Number four is an oversaturated niche. So if you are trying to create designs for the most popular thing on Zazzle, you can make sales, don't get me wrong. It's just going to take a really long time to cycle your brand new products into that algorithm so that your products get seen, and then you just don't have the best chance of success with that, because especially if you're just like expecting the algorithm to take care of it for you, because basically there's so many other products that are already doing so well in these really popular niches. So it's really hard to get a foothold in them. It's not impossible, and you absolutely can, but there's going to be some other things that go into that, which I'll get into in a little bit. The next one is that there's no demand for what you've created and produced. And I think that for those of you that have watched, I don't know, a couple of YouTubers telling you to create some AI art and slap it up on some products and they're going to make hundreds of sales in no time, I think that this one might be your issue. Is I just don't think that there's a huge demand for the AI art on products, depending on what it is. Obviously there's ways you can do the AI art and make it look really good, but if you're just putting a prompt in, taking it, not editing it at all, and putting it on the products, I don't think, what I've seen so far from people doing that, it's not great, it's not very good. And I find too is there's no targeting with that. You're just like getting an AI image of a dog and putting it on anything, and you don't even really know who you're targeting with that. So I just don't really know what the demand is for that style of art at this point. I'm sure that there maybe is a market for it. I just think that it's not as simple as one prompt into the AI art generator and then you get to export it and upload it. It's like as simple as that. I think that there's some work that needs to go into that. Not to hate on the AI art here. It's just that's what popped into my head when I think of no demand. I think of those. If it's too easy, it's probably not going to work, you know? So on to the next one. Another reason that your designs may not be selling is that you have some errors within your designs. This might be you've put in a monogram, but you forgot to toggle the text template option on. I am guilty of this myself. When I was first starting on Zazzle, I think it took me 3 or 4 weeks to figure out actually how to add the text template. I thought it was just kind of automatic. And then one day I was poking around in the design tool and I realized that you actually have to toggle that option on. And if you don't know how to do it, I have a video and I'll link that here to get that personalize it button so that customers can add the text that they want to add. So anyways, that would be one way that your design has errors. Another one is that the placement is off. Maybe it's like not quite centered. Or another one, if it's a text template as well, you have to have, like, if you were to add a name, the name Alex, for example, that's 4 letters long, and then you put the bounding box tightly around that name, if anyone has a longer name, it's going to end up going on 2 lines rather than getting like elongated. All right, so here is my example. I just have the name Alex, and then I'll make it a little bit bigger so that you can see. So there's the name Alex, and I've got this bounding box here. So you want to actually bring it out as far as it can go, or as far as you want the edges to go. But if I were to bring it in, and so it just lets you fit that word that I have in there. And then if I turn it into a template, and on this page, if I put Alexandra, it's gonna pop it on the next line. So that is a pretty big design error. So you want to go back to the design tool and then bring this out so that you can actually fit the full name on there. That's one simple way that possibly there is a design error. Another one is with images. Again, you may have forgotten to toggle the image template option on, and then, here, I'm just gonna use this picture of ice hockey. But if you didn't choose the right option when making it a template, you want to make sure you select fill instead of fit or none. And now Zazzle has it so that it says recommended, but it didn't always used to say that. So it was kind of confusing on which one to pick. I could never remember if it was fit or fill. So it's fill. That's another design error that you could have done. Or if it's not a text template and you have some writing, you might have had a spelling error or something like that. So there's lots of options of what the design error could be. So that's definitely something you want to double check. If you're finding these tips helpful, please show some love by liking the video and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any more Zazzle tips. Another thing that might be stopping customers from buying from your shop is the lack of customization options. So one of the things that people love about Zazzle and keeps people coming back for more is the option to customize the products that they want to buy. So by adding their name or their business name or their photos or whatever it is, by not having that customization option on your products, you're kind of missing out a little bit, probably quite a bit, on Zazzle's customer base, really. Another thing that I think is really important to making sales and could stop you from making sales is having too generic of a niche in your shop. Niching down is really beneficial for you, because if you have, for example, a shop that's specifically for badminton players, and your ideal customer just like loves badminton and they find your shop, then they might buy multiple things. But if you have things for badminton players, but then you also have things for space lovers and things for, I don't know, like politics or something like that, it's confusing for customers and they don't necessarily want to shop around your store. Whereas if it's all badminton stuff, they're like, well, I have a pretty good chance of finding something I'm gonna like, so I'm gonna poke around this shop. Do you know what I mean? So I hope that kind of makes sense. That to me is definitely one of the big draws to having a niche specific shop. Another reason your products aren't selling is that you aren't promoting them. Zazzle in general is pretty good about creating discoverability for our shops, so long as, you know, we do our due diligence and fill out our metadata, do good designs, you know, do all the things that Zazzle asks us to do. Doing our own marketing and promotion isn't 100% necessary just to make sales, but it definitely is going to help, because realistically with Zazzle, is like you really only need to bring in one sale for a product to make that product make that second sale on the Zazzle marketplace to just like give it that boost in the algorithm so that it can make another sale. And then once it makes another sale, it makes more sales, and it just kind of snowballs from there. I market my stuff on Pinterest. To be perfectly honest, I neglected my own marketing for the first, I think, like 2, potentially even almost 3 years of my Zazzle career, I guess. So I am fairly new to it myself, but the potential for more sales when it comes to marketing is definitely worth the time and effort it takes. So that's definitely something you want to start doing from the get-go. And if you don't know how to market your products, I have a video up here and it explains how to create a pin and post to Pinterest. Another thing that may factor into your lack of sales is your lack of products. So there's definitely a little bit of a fight between quality over quantity and then quantity over quality. And in my opinion, there needs to be a healthy balance. You want to have good quality designs. You want designs that people are going to like, but then you also need to produce a lot of them because the Zazzle marketplace has a lot of products, so you need to be able to compete. And with that, for example, if you create a design like a Father's Day gift design or something like that, and what I like to do at least is I create a handful of them because you never know when they're going to get rotated into the algorithm. So if you have more of them, it's just going to happen a little bit faster. And yeah, I don't really know how to, I need to figure out how to explain this better because it's a whole video in itself. I kind of have this idea in my head of how the Zazzle algorithm works, and it really helps me visualize it and it just conceptualize it. I don't know how to, but I need to figure out how to verbalize it and communicate it because I think it's really, really helpful. Yeah, I need to kind of nail that down a little bit so that I can explain it to you guys because it's really crucial to understand kind of how that algorithm is working. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. But anyways, let's move on from that. But yeah, you need to have a lot of products basically in your shop is what I'm trying to say because you got to work with the algorithm here. Otherwise, it's just going to take so long to see results if you ever do. Another reason, and I go over this in another video that I'll link up here, is not completing your shop when you're setting it up. So that's really important to do. That's going to help your Z rank, which is going to help your visibility in the marketplace. Mock-up photos are also really important for getting sales. I am in the process of trying to get mock-up photos on every single one of my products, and it is time consuming, but it is so worth it. I actually just a couple, like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, I put a mock-up photo on one of my phone cases that had sold once before, and I put that on and it sold like 2 days later. And I don't know, like maybe it's a coincidence, but also I feel like the mock-up photo helped sell it. So it's really important to get good mock-up photos for your products. Zazzle has already come out and said that they will give you priority in the marketplace and search results if you have mock-up photos. I don't know how that fully factors in with the algorithm because obviously if you have a product that has sales and doesn't have a mock-up photo, that product should still theoretically be shown above a product with a mock-up photo. But I don't know, that's there's probably an aspect of randomness, and the mock-up photo is just weighted a little bit more heavily when deciding on the search results. And last but certainly not least is the collections, and actually categories for that matter. So I guess it's kind of a 2-for-1 here, is so shop organization. We'll put it under the umbrella of shop organization. You need to have categories that make sense for your shop so that customers can navigate through your shop with ease and find what they're looking for. And then also collections. Collections are another huge thing for making sales. Zazzle has really pushed collections this year, and they're making it easier for customers to shop within a collection because they're seeing that customers, like when they buy multiple things, they buy from a single collection. So that's definitely something you want to focus on. If you haven't been focusing on collections, see what of your products in your shop can go cohesively in a collection, or take one of your best-selling designs and create a collection around it. There's lots of options for you there. And if you look at the different collection types, they have a bunch of different ones. And If you pick like a wedding or birthday one and a few others, like basically the collections at the top of the list, when you look at the drop down menu, they all kind of tell you what products should go in them. So definitely take a look at that. I find that really helpful. It's like a guide telling you what to create. So those are the things that might be hindering you when it comes to making sales on Zazzle. If any one of these things really stood out to you, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know kind of what people's pain points are with Zazzle so that I know what kind of videos to make going forward. If you have anything you want me to cover, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give the video a like if you learned something, and be sure to subscribe for more Zazzle tips. Bye.